Okay.
Hi.
Hi. So why don't you just introduce yourself and tell us about when you first started getting into filmmaking?
So, yeah. I started making movies as a producer for Danny Madden and Tony Ascenda. I was doing Lil Dicky music videos and hand-drawn animation from when I graduated college in 2009 until late 2015. I had many friends that were making cool stuff, and that inspired me to get off the couch to make stuff on my own. I kind of got a team together over a one-day shoot to make a movie in late 2015 called Thunder Road. That was a short film where I play a police officer, and it won Sundance in 2016, and that kind of launched the team into stardom a bit.
I love everybody here. My wonderful team. Go make movies. You can do it yourself. Don't listen to anybody that says that you can't.
It got to a point where I was able to make feature films instead of just talking about making stuff. And so I made 3 features, and PJ said, well, let's make something together. And we had this idea about a letter service that would connect people anonymously to commit adultery. And then PJ and I went down the rabbit hole of what would actually happen and the knock-on effects. And it was making us laugh and scaring us, and so we started writing it as a feature. Hi, I'm Jim Cummings.
Hi, PJ McCabe.
And we're here on set for our new werewolf movie, and we're on WeFunder to finance our new feature film, which is a sexy horror thriller called The Beta Test. The Beta Test is about a Hollywood agent who gets a letter in the mail in a beautiful, ornate purple envelope that invites him to a no-strings-attached, one-off sexual encounter with an admirer. The movie will be shot in Los Angeles in the fall of 2019. We want to do it with our friends and family, with the content and the cameras that we already have, and make something that can be premiered on the world stage just as Thunder Road was. So please join us if you can. You can buy percentages of the film and collect on the film for the rest of your life, as we are with all of our previous movies. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
I just wanted to show you guys what's happening here. This is the first payment coming from WeFunder, which means that $350,000 are being moved into our bank accounts from escrow from 401 investors, which is crazy. And it's all done through the internet.
Literally, I read like a strip.
Are we done?
It's at 300.
Wow.
So we just got greenlit. We just raised the full 300 grand through WeFunder.
300 grand.
Through really wonderful, incredibly kind investors.
Yeah,
it took a
people.
week and a half or something like that. We're incredibly lucky. And so we're gonna start pre-production. Celine is excited, isn't that right, Celine? So for the beta test, we were writing it almost exclusively at the Vanishing Angle offices. It was just this great venue where everybody at Vanishing Angle was doing something cool at that time, where somebody would be editing something or somebody would be in pre-production, and it felt like the old Hollywood studios done in this kind of crowdsourced way, where there was always a rack of costumes for this week's shoot for something. Natalie, what are we doing?
We're scheduling. Lots of fun.
Good job to all the contributors on WeFunder. Script's not done.
It was a very vibrant culture of people who were all creatives making cool stuff, and we were just allowed to skate along being these weird Redditor goofballs, and by the end of that process we had a feature film script that was ready to shoot. Thomas, what are we doing?
Scouting the location, man, all day long.
This is going to be Louise's funeral, where Jim realizes he stumbled in on someone who murdered his wife. We are scouting a hopeful location for the opening scene, and we are about to go in and check it out. See if we can kill someone here. If it's like, let's do it till it's right. Like, it's so important to get some of these scenes right and get the performances right.
This is a lot?
This is a lot right now, right?
Okay.
Once we get that in, then we're going to basically, the 2 characters here,
and it's going to spin around them. It's the hardest shot of the movie, and it's the first thing we're doing. Amazing.
This is Brayden, who's our bartender.
How's it going?
Bottom of the
Yeah.
The point of this movie is to humanize and humiliate these people. So if you see us on set and there's anything that we can do to make us look dumber, please let us know. We will put it into the movie.
Schedule like we have with this one, we're going to be moving at a sprint's pace. Safety is a top priority. So if you have any concerns, suggestions, questions, please bring them to me or Matt Miller or
So, say you clicked on something back in college, all those clicks, all those likes from then until now, that's all been saved.
Watch your heads, everyone.
Wait till now, that's all been saved by these companies. And then in 2013, they started allowing others.
To us, like finding the moments of like when he's speaking, they're moving, like pulling focus to him. And then
longer runs we can have more room to play.
I think so. But this is really good for now. Let's do another one like this, just so that everybody kind of.
And then we go into regular coverage.
We are on set with the Tesla Model X. This is Naisha. Carla, say hi.
Hey.
So we're doing some light work here. PJ's been doing light work his whole life.
That's really fun. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Someone mock me? Hey, Matt. Living the dream. Matt, you haven't given us an interview yet.
Oh, no. Well, at Vanishing Angle, we've always tried to cut out middlemen. I mean, I think it's what drew Jim and Danny and Ben to the company is that they saw we were like-minded, that like if you could do it yourself, there's efficiencies there, and those efficiencies not only allow more money to go on screen, but also more money to go in the pockets of the filmmakers. From the very beginning, you know, it was cutting out the middleman of like, do we need sales agents? And very often we've kept an arm's length from the agencies because they've never really jumped at the chance to be supportive of the type of work that we were doing. I mean, we've always sort of felt like the work that we're doing as filmmakers, this team, it's very unique in the space, and it doesn't feel like a lot of people are looking to support it because it doesn't, on the surface, seem like it's going to breed a lot of money.
There are certain agents that are so amazing at their job and are really necessary, but there are other agents that kind of approach it in a different way where it's all about withholding information. And I think we're now in an age where it's all about sharing information, and the more information that everyone can have and the more communication, the better.
That's the sort of shame of the agency setup, is that like it's so monetarily driven. They're just limited in the types of projects that they can back and support. So when we would call the agencies to say like, hey, you know, we want to cast this actor in the film, or can you bring the project to them? There were times we were lied to, where we were told an actor had passed on a script when we found out later they'd never even gotten the script. And then the agents would apologize to us and be like, oh, well, what we meant to say was we just didn't think it was the right direction for their career, even though they want to do it. So things like that would just sort of bother us. There's a little bit of this feeling sometimes of like, well, you guys are a little late to the game. Like, we needed your help before, but we might not need your help now.
I'm annoyed of me too.
Walking this way, and then that camera speed is going to be following me there to then you.
So roughly about there?
Yeah. Okay.
APE, this is Amy.
So what is a packaging deal?
And then we just kind of like focus on him. Now you have to be turned to camera a little bit. So camera will be behind you. So you still have to kind of act as though, you know, PJ's there and you're doing this stuff. So the movie is about these talent agencies that are struggling in the age of information, and during this digital revolution where people can make things on their own, and so these gatekeepers that were literally created in the 1920s and 30s as call centers and mailing rooms to protect the famous people from the public are now having much less utility. And so it's come about at this interesting time where the agencies are becoming much more cruel, because they have to be, in order to preserve their prestige and their place in Hollywood. And PJ and I just kind of, in these long form conversations, were talking about how all of that is going to collapse. And we're like, what if it is the internet that makes these gatekeepers collapse? And then it just very quickly integrated into this sci-fi data scraping world, and how you could bottom out that world by doing exactly what we were already doing. All it's going to take is Cole Needham at IMDb to go, cool, actually we're going to start an agency and we're going to share information with each other to just decimate that entire world. Like,
yeah.
And we shouldn't be betting so much of our lives and our feelings of inadequacy on something that's going away. And action.
Just good stuff.
And action. Let's do it again. We're gonna do it 1,000 times, everybody. Whoop, do it again. Let's do it again. Nope.
Missed it.
Cool.
So close.
Somebody live stream this for Jackie Chan. Thank you, everybody.
Sorry.
Patience. Cool, moving on.
Alright, moving on. That takes us out of scene 29 into scenes 51, 56. Do you want to...
Why is this so much darker?
Because it's getting dark. You idiot.
Alright, f*** you. Alright.
Spent now is determined almost $1 billion, and look what happened. I think it's very hard for rich people to run for office. It's far more costly. It's just it's a very tough thing. Now with all of that being said,
So, we are still in lockdown for the coronavirus. Today is the 1st of May. It's May Day. I am dropping off a copy of the movie to Danny Madden, who is going to be doing some sound editing and a little bit of sound design for the beta test. He lives about 10 minutes from me. I'm dropping off a sanitized hard drive to him and walking through what sound PJ, the producers, and I want in the movie. It is fucking crazy to be making a movie right now, but I am very glad that we finished the movie when we did. This is my setup. It is inside of my closet. This is where I sit. Not too shabby, I don't think. It's funny. Yeah, it's a weird time, but it's been fun to just have this little workspace and work on the movies. Sometimes I come down to the car just to have some quiet time away from everything. I've hidden a pack of beer in the car.
Yeah, I think COVID was kind of a forced pause for everyone in the film industry, and then I think it forced Jim and PJ to really like rest on this project in particular, and then for Jim, he had to kind of take a break in general. And not to speak for him, but I think it's been a great reminder that when you do things so quickly back to back to back, like you don't really get a second to rest your brain, because when you're not worrying about the one that you're filming, you're worrying about the one that you're going to film. He was shooting Wolf of Snow Hollow and then already thinking about beta, talking with PJ, he's in Utah, they're talking about the movie, then he's got to go shoot this thing, and then if he's not sleeping, I'm not really sleeping, and you know, it's not my movie, but I think it was a really stressful, exciting but really stressful process. Now he's had time to sit in a yard and quietly and chill out and then think like, oh, well, this could be a good idea for this next thing someday.
I have this kind of like ever-changing list of notes. This is actually only 2.5 pages. I'll kind of cross them out as I go through, and it's really just like using this Zoom recorder to do sound design and plug and play, and it's relatively easy. And then all of this is gearing up for the final mix and the final color session, which is going to happen in this room in the next month and a half.
I think one of the things that I really love about the film that I hope people walk away with is this sense of reaching the end of the rope of your own bullshit. I think it's something that we so often return to in like this cycle where you kind of like get over yourself for a little while. And then you kind of get caught back up into who you think you are instead of who you actually are, and not realizing what it looks like to try and change who you are. Because obviously, like, we're all adapting, we're all continuing to become new people. So I think that awareness and just how important it is to like have the conversation. And that's one of the things at the end that's talked about is like, this could have been a conversation. We don't need to have everybody else's relationship. It doesn't need to be this other way.
So I'm doing sound design for the scene where Caroline comes in and kisses Jordan, and it's right after this big fight montage in the Lake Arrowhead scene, and we don't have any audio of the kissing, so I'm just gonna record it in my elbow.
Wait, what's going on here? Hold on.
I'm just gonna do this real quick. I have this little Rode microphone and then the voice memo app. I use the AirDrop functionality on the iPhone to share it to my iMac. So we lay in these 3 tracks here that are the 3 different sounds that we want in the multiverse system, and this is the one thing that's different. It felt like that. I don't know, it's hard to explain.
Wait, what's going on here? Hold on. Wait, this is really happening? You really did this? Did this part of it? That's pretty good.
Starved.
Nope.
She's like,
No, we're not doing that. Sorry, keep going. I just don't have time for it today. Oh, good. Testing. Hey everybody.
How's it going?
Hey everybody. We wanted to give you a quick update. We are very close to finishing the film. We are scheduled to have the film completed by the end of January, which means that we are building out this space to be a sound studio and a color correction studio 2 weeks apart. So, sorry, I just want to clarify something. Sorry, I'm still making this documentary. So we turned this space into a 5.1 surround sound studio, and it is a very cool setup. John Bowers, our sound mixer, has been here for the last week and a half doing the mix. The movie's coming along. It's really fantastic.
So we're mixing the movie. It's the sound mix here. Jim completely shifted everything in the garage. This was the color wall. Now this is the sound mix wall.
And the president was impeached today.
Yeah, he was. For the second time. As we make this movie, the world has gone through the craziest period in like decades, centuries.
So that is how we finished the film in this space in Adobe Audition. Don't let anybody convince you that you have to use expensive software to make a movie, or that you have to abide by their rules, or that you should be made to feel inadequate because your movie isn't a real movie, because we finished the movie on this computer that I am talking to you at. We did not get into the Sundance Film Festival this year, unfortunately.
We did, however, get into 2 of the largest film festivals in the world, which is amazing news. We heard both within the same week, and they are 2 really, really cool ones that we're super pumped about.
The Beta Test is having its world premiere at the Berlinale Film Festival. The Beta Test will be having its American premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival. It is an incredible honor to be part of this program. It's actually a relief to not get into Sundance, because that festival is like January 12th or something, so we would have to like finish the movie next week, basically.
yeah.
You make stuff and you put it out and submit it to places, and if they don't like it, they don't like it. It's not... That's just how it is. There's plenty of movies that like don't match up between those programs. Hey everybody, it's Jim.
Hey everybody, PJ here. Jim and I have some pretty exciting news to share with you.
We have been doing sales since the European film market for the Beta Test, and we have found a home for the Beta Test in the United States with IFC.
It really is the perfect place, we feel, to bring it. Talking with them, they completely understood the movie.
Just from our first few sales, we've been able to recoup the $350,000 from all of you wonderful people with some ROI on top. It's a huge success. I guess overall, I'd like to say thank you so much for supporting us, and I'm glad that we were able to deliver.
Doing this just with your friends and with people on the internet, I mean, I had never directed before. I haven't done any of this before, and if I can figure it out, trust me, anyone else can do it too.
But also, thank you for doing this, for supporting independent film. It means a great deal to me, not just our movies, but that independent filmmakers from around the world can post something on a whim on a crowd equity platform and be supported by wonderful people like y'all in a way that was unprecedented even 5 years ago. So thank you, congratulations, and stay tuned. Everything was coming and going out of there. So the room that we were having the production meeting in ended up being Johnny PayPal's basement at the end of the film. So people, when we show them the movie, don't even realize that that was part of the Vanishing Angle offices. My buddy Mike Cisneros has been doing visual effects for our movies for years. We weren't allowed to shoot with fake blood in the opening scenes. The Airbnb that we were renting to shoot in wouldn't allow us to mess up their marble tile floors, understandably. And so Mike had this huge task of having to synthesize blood.
I'm going to close up with one final question, guys, completely off topic. Can you describe for me your perfect Sunday afternoon?
Wow. I actually had one before I left. I have a Tempur-Pedic mattress that folds up and goes underneath the couch in my living room. And to be able to pull it out and unfold it and have a 65-inch TV, and my fiance and I watched A Brighter Summer Day, the Edward Yang film. It was 4 hours, but we spent basically the whole day on this Tempur-Pedic mattress, and it was a really lovely day.